Sunrise and Soul.
A very good morning and welcome to Sunrise and Soul Television. Today being the 24th day of September 2025 here on South of the Nation, Ebonyi State. My name is Laura Amanze and welcome to the show. Today my colleague Amaka is a bit under the weather and she won't be joining me, but not to worry. We'll do the much we can, even though I'm already missing her. All right, so on the show today, we're going to be looking at the newspaper headlines, and from there we'll go to sports. After sports, we now look at, we'll go to our newsroom to see what is happening. From there, when we return, we'll be looking at the topic depression. These days with people, sudden death every day. So we're going to be having a professional in the house tell us what to do, what are the causes of depression, and how to go about it. This is the much we're going to be doing today on the show. All right, so in the house, I have for my newspaper analyst, but before I introduce them, we have like 5-6 newspapers we'll be looking at today. We're going to be looking at the Daily Sun, the Guardian, the Punch newspaper, the Daily Trust, Nigerian Tribune, and of course the Vanguard. These are the papers we'll be looking at today on the show. And as usual, I have a co-anchor today. he's already laughing. We have told him that he's one of us. So from now on, he's going to be running the show with us, especially this newspaper review. Sonny, we are doing it.
Is this not a kidnap?
So, no, it's not an ambush. We had told him. So, I'm going to be running the show today together with Sonny. So, please do welcome our in-house analyst and my co-anchor today, Sunday Dukwe, who happens also to be the Ratawo chairman, Ebonyi Broadcasting Corporation chapter. Sir, you're welcome to the program.
Viewers, you are welcome.
I don't know if I should still be addressing you, sir, now that you're my co-anchor. Sonny?
If you have succeeded in pushing this, okay.
All right, sir. So we have in the house...
and I'm protesting too because...
UJ Chairman, you cannot be protesting.
I'm protesting because
why?
You want to snatch away my partner.
No, that does not stop him from being your partner. We are still going to be doing it together and he will still be your partner. Yes, no, I'm not snatching him away.
Okay.
So please join me in welcoming Samson Nwa for the Nigeria Union of Journalists chapter chairman of Ebonyi State chapter. Sir, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to have you here in the house, doing justice to what is going on in Nigeria. Okay, so let's start with the Daily Sun. Yes, today, in fact, since yesterday, the newspaper everywhere has been agog with the return of Natasha. It says Natasha resumes, vows not to apologize. And on the riders there, we have court to hear her preliminary objection in defamation suits. And then NAS reschedules plenary resumption to October 7. Okay, that is coming from Daily Sun. We also have CBN cuts interest rates to 27%, eyes $1 billion monthly inflow. Okay, let's see how that goes. Okay, that's how much we can take from the Daily Sun. Now we go to the Guardian. The Guardian newspaper says, wider cracks in world order amid warnings on aid cuts union's future. Okay, now, we're going to be looking at that anyway. I mean, there have been cuts in aid, especially to Africa, and so many things that has been going on. Okay, now on the right that's there. Okay, let's also take a look at this story still on the Guardian. We are looking at, it says, Tinubu's handling of INEC transition will define Nigerians' democracy, says Yaga. We also have on the right, on the Guardian too, the defamation case adjourned as Senate Natasha reach on common truths, indeed uncommon, and the FRC clarifies borrowing plans, confirms new tax regime from January. That is coming from the Guardian newspaper. We now move over to the Punch newspaper, where we have as a headline there, 8.4 trillion naira oil theft drains economy, fuels investors' doubts. Okay, 8.4 trillion naira oil theft drains the economy, fuels investors' doubts. And we have the Riders that says experts fault lack of arrest, prosecution, and and 4 years. Joe oil and all that. Okay, that's from the Nigerian Punch. Now we move on to Delhi Trust. Union rejects sale of oil and gas assets. Now the union is saying they are rejecting oil and gas assets, the sale of that. And we also have bandits kill pregnant woman, others in Kwara. Cut interest for the economics tells central bank. And we also have Remi Tinubu raises 20 billion naira for library projects. That is coming from the Daily Trust. And we have this very interesting one there, which I think we'll be discussing. Soldiers bag life jail for selling arms to terrorists. I think that is a very good development. There we're going to be looking at that. Now we move on to the Nigerian Tribune. It says business leaders express hope as CBN cuts interest rates to 27%. Wow. Since 2020, the interest rate has remained way above 30% or thereabouts. It is a deeper, the writer says, it is a step towards building more resilient, growth-oriented economy, says CPPE. And then another one says, NECA urges a strategic easing to boost growth. That is coming from the Nigerian Tribune. Now we move over to the Vanguard. 14 banks fully meet new capital requirements. That is coming from the Nigerian Vanguard. 14 banks meet capital requirement. That is CBN telling us that, sometime back there was an imposition that there is a certain amount that banks must meet for them to recapitalize, as a matter of fact. And it says, the writer says, CBN reduces interest rate to 27%, external reserves hits $43 billion. That's a lot. Well, let's see how that will transform to easing of the economy. And Natasha Agbodudaya storms Senate office, resumes duty. Okay. All right, so that is the daily newspapers. Now, let's look at this. Everywhere is Natasha, Natasha, Natasha. Now, let me start with you, Samson. Natasha was supposed to have resumed sometime, but I know we discussed this, I think last week or thereabouts. No, it wasn't Natasha. Yeah, we discussed it some 2 weeks back when she was supposed to have resumed, and then the Senate says, no, they cannot. They still have a case in court to answer. So, and until she answers that case, you cannot resume office. And then yesterday, we saw all the drama that played out, where, in fact, with drums and everything, and even the man that staged the drama, what's his name now? Is it the whip? The one that came to unseal.
Sergeant at Arm.
The sergeant at arm that made the drama of it. Okay, here I am unsealing the office of the Senator Natasha. Now,
Yes.
what happened? What changed between that time and now?
Yeah, the issue is that the suspension of Natasha got a dimension to the current political discourse in the country. One is that the lady involved is a woman. Anything that has to do with women, a lot of people get interested. And that was the case of Natasha's suspension. And when the 6 months suspension elapsed, it was expected that she would resume, and he made a kind of media pronouncement that he would be resuming since her suspension has elapsed. But the clerk of the House also made the Senate countered the pronouncements saying that she cannot resume until the matters, because they have some series of cases in the courts regarding that issue. So, but you know, the truth is that the pressure of Natasha's suspension has been in the Senate, particularly in the office of the Senate President. A lot of people are interested, and I believe that it is as a result of those pressures coming from different corners that resulted to the unsealing, because the matters which they made reference to are still in the court.
Precisely. In fact, her lawyer said that the Federal High Court, has no, is it Federal High Court, has no jurisdiction over the matter, that they cannot sit on that matter, because the Senate President was like taking it personal. Now, Shugaba, Natasha also came in smoking hot. There were comments she made that yesterday. She's like, okay, I have resumed, but the way I was treated, I am still not happy with the way I was treated. That the Senate President treated her as if she was one of his servants or one of his domestic staff. And that's based on that, that she will not be gagged. So what do you make of that? Do you think she should just, let go and just assume her duty of representing her people? Or like, the Nigerian thing, let's sweep everything under the carpet and let it go. Do you think, what would you advise that the stance she should take now that she has been recalled?
Well, you see, the lady, I believe she's supposed to have, look at the whole scenario since the suspension came up. She has taken this thing internationally, taken the matter to court, and then the matter is still in court. Whatever consideration the leadership of the Senate made and then allowed her to resume, I believe she did not go to resume on her own. The leadership of the Senate must have ordered for the office to be opened. Even though they are still on recess. Yes, even though they are still on recess, and then the matter is still in court. And then they believe if this matter continues to be in court, she may end up, not coming back to the Senate. If they say, okay, this matter the case must be determined in court before she resumes, she may end up not resuming for the remaining 2 years, and the matter may continue to linger in court. So for the leadership of the Senate to say, okay, let her come back and continue her work, under pressure where we are having a situation where they are talking about women should be given more slots in the National Assembly.
That the hearing now.
Yes. Yeah. Women are being advocated to have more slots, whether elected or whatever representative pattern they want to use. And then we are having this issue of Natasha. Senate was like, okay, let her come back. And then the case is still there. I believe she's supposed to be careful, supposed to watch out for whatever reason she was asked to come back. And then follow up with whatever case here. If they are the ones you need to withdraw, she should withdraw it for the sake of the institution. Because if you look at this matter properly, from the period all these things started, she was not able to provide any evidence in court that, okay, I was harassed sexually, and then this is evidence of where I was harassed. These things are all matters of process. It started by, you are not standing at your right seat. Go to your right seat. So Natasha should not behave as if
women
will become problem if they are given more room.
But there was also the issue. You know that during the last assembly, the Senator Kwabio was guilty of the same thing. He spoke while he was not on his seat, and he was now asked to go back, that he cannot be speaking from another seat, and he was asked to go back to his seat, and that never led to him being suspended. You understand? That issue was resolved. That is why people are feeling that Akpabio, the Senate President, took it personal. You understand? And then the pressure. Do you also agree with the fact that pressures from people, the pressure that has been mounted, because I mean, if you are saying let's sweep it under the carpet and then we should not talk about it again, what precedents are you setting for people tomorrow who might also come up with similar or even more serious issues, and then people start playing gods. Because like the senator said, that Akpabio is no more senator than herself. He's under the same platform that he was elected. She was equally elected to represent her people.
The point I'm making is this.
Yes.
If a case is in court,
Uh-huh.
you don't go on making further comments, making further social media posts on that same case that the court is trying to make judgment on. You are called back to come. You go back to office quietly as the case continues to be determined by the court. You can only make such comments if there are no issue in courts. That's the area I'm going. You don't continue to make things look controversial, because you are trying to undermine the process that you have already.
So you agree with Samson that because a woman is involved, we tend to blow things out of proportion. Is that what you're insinuating?
You cited the case of Akpabio. If you look at that particular, if you go back to that case, after that issue, Akpabio came to the Senate to apologize. He apologized that period that what happened the other day, I'm sorry. But the case of Natasha was not the same. After she was asked not to speak, next thing the following day, she made so many posts on the social media. You see, make so many calls to international organizations that this happened, and then started raising so many allegations. That was the reason why she was suspended in the next sitting.
Oh well, so let's see how it plays out. I think, like most Nigerians say, certain results has been achieved. Alicia has come back, and like you rightly said, if this thing prolongs, it's only her constituency that will suffer more, because it will be denied proper representation.
And I think what the woman wants to achieve, she wants to kind of win that public sympathy. Because our courts do not deliver judgments based on morality or based on he wants to sympathize with you. Courts does justice to the matter before it's based on evidence. So if you accuse, you must be able to provide evidence that that thing happened. Failure to do that, you will sink in the well of justice, because just the law does not want to know how and when and how it happened. What they want to know is the evidence. Do you have concrete fact to prove that this certain thing happened?
Actually happened.
And you know, the issue of that type of discussion or that type of allegation she raised is not something that can be documented. It may be true, but for her now, she can't.
There's no documentation because it wasn't planned.
Because if I tell you I love you, I want you to be my girlfriend, you may not take it serious until we start having issues. Then you now bring it up that the other day I made the love advances to you. So, and at that level, Akpabio will not descend so low of maybe sending such a thing to him, to her, as a text message or maybe voice note, as the case may be.
It's all right. Okay, so we just go to Daily Trust now. There's this particular story that has to do with security. Where there it says, bandits kill pregnant woman, orders an inquirer. And then we are going to tie it with soldiers back live jail for selling arms to terrorists. Now, are we having a shift in our security architecture? Now we are getting to hear that people are actually being tried and jailed. Now, what do you make of that? What is actually happening? Is there headway in what we have been seeing, the terrorist attack, all the shenanigans that has been going on, as it has to do with the security of the country? What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think there's nothing new for me in what happened. In the past, we have got information of even soldiers, high-ranking officers working with terrorists, working with Boko Haram, and even supplying arms, and big businessmen supplying food and other items to them, and petrol. And there were arrests in the past which we were able to get the knowledge of. those incidents. But the issue is that how many of them were tried, and if they were tried, the information about the result, just as I said earlier, it is one to accuse, but your ability to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the court of competent jurisdiction will say yes, if such a thing happens. Another thing, we've seen a lot of cases glaring, but the inability of the Nigerian government to provide evidence has always messed up the case, including corruption trials. A lot of big men have been tried as a result of corruption, but what do we make out of it at the end? Because court will always set them free, because the Nigerian government oftentimes do not take time to get concrete evidence before trying such a sensitive case. So this one is a welcome development. At least a result has been achieved. 3 persons were given life imprisonment.
One back there 15 years.
So it will also send a signal to others indulging in such act that someday they may be caught in the web of justice.
Indeed, they'll be caught in the web of justice. Now, looking at this story, is there really a shift in the security architecture? That's one. Then you recall that I think sometime last week too, some stories trended where in Katsina, somewhere in Katsina, the Katsina state government was negotiating with bandits, and we saw them with arms. Yeah. We saw them with even missiles and all that, and they were openly negotiating with those bandits. So looking at this now, because it will appear that this is like a show, let it be that something has happened. Because I don't see how a state government will be negotiating with terrorists who came out openly, sat there with AK-40 whatever and all kinds of arms and ammunition, and these are terrorists. So do you really think that Nigerians will believe that this actually happened? This jail sentences was actually carried out, and even if it was carried out, was it to the right people? Was it really the right people that were arrested and jailed?
The fact is that if you look at the nation, our country, if you think back, this time 2 years ago, the security situation wasn't the same. There were a lot of battles, a lot of kidnapping, a lot of security concerns, especially in the northern part of this country. But looking at the way it is now, especially seeing that by next year we'll be talking about primary election and all that, comparing it to what we had previously, we're having lesser security concerns, especially in the northern part of this country, even in the east. So there are, I could say there's a shift, positive shift, in our security. They're coming to the issue of persecution, court trials and persecution. We can only say that the security agency and the court should continue to do their best to see that these persons that are arrested, so many of them, that they are persecuted, so that they will serve as deterrent to other persons who are in this journey of becoming habitual bandits and all that. If they are not persecuted and released, it tends to encourage the persons who are into this kind of thing, who have called it or turned into their business. Then coming to issue of negotiation, security matters are usually there are different dimensions and approaches to it. There's the carrot, there's also the stick, And remember also that these persons, most of them are also citizens. And then if you dig out the history of what led to this issue of having bandits and all kind of things, you will see that some of them were as a result of many years of neglect, of unemployment, illegal mining, which is not actually allowed now, per se. Not that it's not going on, but all those habits have been, stopped, but not totally. So if you look at the history of this, what led to banditry and all this, you see that these guys are our citizens, but due to the nature of things, they have found themselves, and then start acting the way they are acting. And then government also must use certain approach, instead of killing them all. If there are ways to save them and still rehabilitate them, government will also go for that that option. I believe that is what they saw the Katsina State government.
Okay, the stick and the carrot.
Yeah, the stick and the carrot approach.
But for me, seriously, I do not support this issue of negotiating with terrorists.
Definitely.
It shows that the country's security architecture has broken irretrievably. Because if we gather, we have a department that gather intelligence, like the DSS is meant to do, and other security units. I think all these security threats can be nipped in the bud before it degenerates. You understand? Like that of the North, most times this issue of negotiating with them never worked. And I feel that they are now heading under it to even do more harm.
In fact, the process of assimilation that they are doing is causing more harm than good.
Buhari tried the issue of Buhari's government. Some governors tried this issue of negotiation, but is it working? No, when this Boko Haram came, in fact, there was suggestion that negotiation should be brought into the fight. It didn't work. So the issue is that what is happening in the country is that, one, bad governance has contributed to what the terrorist activities. And if there should be negotiation, it should be done in all regions.
Definitely.
Yeah,
because it appears that it's one-sided.
Who have also agitations they are making, which is causing them to go about disturbing the public peace. There should be the similar negotiation should be extended to us, so that we know where our problem is coming from.
Exactly. So it should be spread across, but not selective. But
yes,
for me, the audacity of coming to negotiate with arms.
In Africa, our military remains the best. So what is happening?
Exactly.
What is happening?
Indeed, what is happening? That's where we're going to be leaving it for today on the newspaper front page review for today. I want to say a very big thank you to Samson Nwa, for the chairman, Nigerian Union of Journalists, Ebonyi State Chapter. Many thanks, sir, for being on the show.
Thank you for
and my co-anchor that I have allowed to
also participate.
Don't worry, on Friday we better be ready more, so that I just allow that, so that NUJ chairman will not subcharge me. Okay. You know, say now our guard for here now, so that by Friday you prepare. I know that now me and you they do them together. Okay. All right, Sunday, many thanks. Yeah, more than
anywhere you come.
Many thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a short break now. When we return, we'll bring you some more of sport highlights. Please stay with us.
Sunrise and Salt TV, another blissful moment on television.
All right, we are glad to have you back here. Don't mind me. You know, sometimes at the background, a lot of things happen and you just find yourself on air. Some days are like that. All right, so welcome back. First, we're going to start with, let's have some news of what is happening in the world of sports. Now, we start with 2025 Ballon d'Or Awards. Now, Osman Dembele and Aitana Bonmati have been crowned the world's best men and women's players at the 2025 Ballon d'Or ceremony in Paris. French Wagner de Meuble claimed the men's award after leading Paris Saint-Germain to a historic treble, including their first ever Champions League title. Barcelona 18-year-old sensation Lamine Yamal finished second and also received the prize for Best Young Player. Etiafou Dembo lifted the trophy in front of an emotional Paris crowd chanting his name. That's awesome. Now, in the women's category, Spain's Aitana Bonmati came out on top. Arsenal and Spain forward Mariona Caldentey placed second, while her club teammate Alicia Russo, despite defeating Bonmati in the Champions League and Euros finals, finished third. England coach England coach Sarina Wiegman was honored as best women's coach after guiding the Lioness to victory over Spain in Switzerland. PSG's Luis Enrique collected the men's John Trophy Award. Chelsea goalkeeper Hannah Hampton won the first ever Women's Goalkeeper Award presented by former Lioness #1 Mary Apps, who retired from international football shortly before the Euros. PSG said Gianluigi Donnarumma took the men's goalkeeper prize for the 7th time. Arsenal and PSG were named Women's and Men's Clubs of the Year after their Champions League triumph. Sporting striker Victor Gyökeres with 63 goals for club and country received the men's Gerd Müller Trophy, while Barcelona's Ewa Major, who scored 48 goals last season, won the women's award. Now coming to the world of tennis, China Open. British #1 Emma Raducanu faces a challenging path at the China Open, where she could encounter several top seeds. The 22-year-old seeded 30th in Beijing begins in round 2 against either Croatia's Dona Vekic or a qualifier. Should she progress, she may face world #1 Jessica Pegula in the 3rd round, with a potential round of 16 clash against 4-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka. A quarterfinal against world #2 Iga Swiatek could follow. Now, Raducanu enters the tournament after reaching the last 16 of the Korea Open, where she lost in 3 sets to Wimbledon champion Barbora Krejcikova. Despite having 3 match points, she skipped Britain's Billie Jean King Cup campaign to compete in Seoul. Now, on Formula One, Christian Horner has officially left Red Bull after finalizing a multi-million round settlement, paving the way for his return to Formula One. The 51-year-old Briton was dismissed in July from his dual role as Red Bull racing team principal and chief executive after 20 years in charge of one of the sport's most successful outfits. Despite the sack, Homer remained officially employed while negotiating terms of his departure as his contract due to run until 2030 was still worth over £100 million. On Monday, Red Bull confirmed an agreement had been reached. Reports indicate Horner accepted a reduced payout of about £75 million to secure permission for a swift return for Formula One as early as the summer of 2026. Wow. Okay, so we're just going to be, because for lack of time, we're just going to be looking at Femo. All right, so I have in the house Femi Emmanuel from Sports Hub, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Spotlight Hub.
Spotlight Hub, he's here. And of course, Sugarba is still here with me. Now, what happened in Paris? That's just what we're going to talk about. I saw the guy whipping. He was like, okay, this is something he was supposed to have gotten some years back. And then something happened and he thought, oh my God, yes, I have lost it.
Yes,
and then he came back.
Dembele started as a very exciting young player. He started from Dortmund, and then he had a very injury-ridden career. And at some point, we thought we'd never see Dembele getting to this level ever. And then he left Barcelona to PSG. We thought, okay, it's over for Dembele. But we saw Dembele in the couple seasons past, and he's just been doing it. And finally, all his efforts was rewarded in the Ballon d'Or on Monday, which was a very good one. All of us fans we supported Dembele to win the trophy. But then the controversy was that the Barcelona forward, Lamine Yamal's father, came out to say there was a bit of it wasn't smooth that his son was robbed of the trophy and all that. But looking at the records, Lamine Yamal wasn't even supposed to be number 2 on the list because he came second, and then Rafinha, his teammate, another Brazilian, who had more Champions League. As a matter of fact, it was highest goal scorer in the Champions League last season. He had more goals in La Liga for Barcelona than Lamine Yamal. Rafinha wasn't in the top 3, and it was. But then it is what it is. Congratulations!
Congratulations! Yeah, Sugarba, I know you watched that. Did you watch that? What did you make of that?
Yeah, you see, each time they do this awards, I used to ask myself, I say, when will Africa, be part of this global show? When will Africa? But when I look at the way our African nations and our players are playing in different clubs
outside Africa.
Outside Africa. I begin to ask myself, who in Africa will I say will be able to, be part of this?
Who
even to come second, in all this show. So I look at it and I say, okay, well, is it politics? Or is it we're not properly placed?
No, it's not. It's definitely not politics. It's football. It's not politics. It's football. I mean, Mohamed Salah was supposed to be the African that could have gotten there, but we didn't see him get there. And unfortunately, we've not had an African as exciting as, for instance, Neymar or even Lamine Yamal in a very long time. We've not had it. Most of us Africans, we just want to make the money. Play 1 season, 2 seasons, want to move to Saudi Arabia, where the money is, want to move to where the money is, make the money. We are not interested in the football. In the name. We are, a lot of Africans, okay, let me not say a lot, some Africans are not interested.
I don't think, I think I disagree with that. True. That we are not interested in the name. I think we are interested. But what Sonny said, for me, is connecting somehow, because where you are not offered a level playing ground, like in Africa, what is our level of preparation? When you manage and struggle your way and then you come to limelight, definitely you want to go to a place where you will shine. You will shine.
You want to go to a place where you shine.
Because
you also want to go to a place where you make money.
Exactly. you make money. You can't shine without money now.
Some of our people, some Africans, I'm saying it because I've been in the league in Nigeria. We just want to leave, go to a club in Europe, whether you're sitting on the bench, so long you are getting paid. Some of our players wouldn't mind.
So are you saying the poverty level is driving us?
Some of our players wouldn't mind. I mean, Neymar was one of the first player outside of Europe that was nominated for the Ballon d'Or when he was still playing in Brazil. And Estavio Williams also, he got nominated from playing outside of Europe. I mean, for the Copa Young Player of the Year award that Lamine Yamal won. Yeah. But thank God, Nnadozie Chiamaka was on the podium. Exactly. At least she came fourth best female, fourth best female goalkeeper in the world, and she's African.
She's African.
So we are getting there.
You said fourth.
Fourth.
In the world.
In the world.
It's not easy now.
Yeah, no, it's not easy at all.
It's not a mean feat to accomplish.
No.
It's not a
I
mean
mean, she
feat.
played for Paris FC, not a big team. And then from Paris FC, she's moved to Brighton and Hove Albion female team, not also a big team. And she managed to get where she's gotten to. So it's not
maybe next time she may be coming up to second.
Exactly.
or
And
first.
remember,
She remains abroad,
two
right?
years ago, Victor Osimhen came number 8 in the rankings, Ballon d'Or rankings. Last year, Ademola Lookman was like number 14. So we are coming small.
Okay, for me, the takeaway was, you know, the shedding of tears and, you know, the fans chanting
The emotions,
his name.
yeah.
The emotion was just awesome, and it's also telling us don't ever give up.
True.
You know, when you think it's all over, maybe God is just starting with you.
True.
For me, that was a big lesson in that, you know, those trophy awards
Then
and everything.
additionally, I want to find out from you, how much is involved for whoever lifts?
It's not necessarily the monetary.
Okay.
It's just the name. Your name is in the record.
There should be a price tag.
And there's not really.
That should be why Africans are not.
All right, gentlemen, that is where we're going to be hanging it. We'll be hanging our boots today on Friday. We pray that we'll have more time to do more analysis. Many thanks, Femi Emmanuel, for being on the show with us today. It was a brief one, but very exciting too. As usual, you're always very exciting to interact with.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on the show. And Shugaba, thanks for the baptism of fire that you have endured today. Thank you. All right, that's the much you can take on this segment. So we'll be taking a short break to bring you our news for today. I am Laura Mazi. Please remain with us.